Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you a new series. What if Naruto was a legendary Uchiha and Namikaze mix? Yes guys, part 1 of What if Naruto was a legendary Uchiha and Namikaze mix, guys. If you enjoyed seeing 1C part 2, go ahead and comment down below and tell me you want to see part 2, guys. And if you have 5 seconds and you're new, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and turn on that bell notification. And also, if you want to see this for yourself, link will be down in the description for you guys to enjoy. And that's not all, guys. I have 2 more channels, Anime King and Anime King 3, which I post What If on every single day. Yes, sound ridiculous, but yes guys, I post What If every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button, turn on that bell notification, stay posted, and I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto was exiled from the Osushi clan over in Anime King 3. So go ahead and check that out and enjoy. And I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto was told about the Uzumaki clan from the beginning. So go ahead and enjoy it as well. But for now, how about we begin this new series? Start the intro. The third Great Ninja War had ended. No one was sure how it started, but it did not matter. At the end of the war, Konoha emerged victorious, but not without a price. Countless shinobis died in the war, while many got injured. It was not just Konoha. Every village country had suffered. Whether it was rain, sand, rock, or any other village, many people lost their precious ones. At the moment, it was nighttime within Konoha, and people were busy with their life. Some were still mourning the loss of their loved ones, while others were trying to get over their grief. Overall, it was a gloomy atmosphere in the Hidden Leaf. The figure sitting in the restaurant in The Red Dragon was none other than Minato Namikaze. He was the newly appointed 4th Hokage of Konoha. His story was quite eventful. He was born in the Namikaze clan. It was a small clan within Konoha, not quite famous. His parents were shinobis, as they lost their life in the Second Shinobi War. As a result, Minato never got to spend much time with them. As time passed, he resolved himself to become a shinobi to protect the village, just like his parents would have wanted him to. His dream was to become Hokage someday. His life passed and he made many friends, but his closest friends were Mikoto Uchiha and Kushina Uzumaki. Kushina was his best friend since childhood. At first, they didn't get along well because of her loud personality, but Minato saved her from Kumo shinobis, and they became good friends. But the most important person in his life right now was Mikoto Uchiha. He loved her from the bottom of his heart. She was one of the best students in his class. She was the heiress of the Uchiha clan, and she was a formidable shinobi who excelled in many ninja arts. As he remembered the day when they first met. Flashback 10 years ago, Minato was throwing kunai in the training field academy of the village. It was already very late, but it did not matter to him. Ever since his parents' death, he resolved himself to become a strong shinobi. He was a good student. He was quite good in ninjutsu and taijutsu. One of his unique traits was he was skilled in fuinjutsu. That didn't go unnoticed by the 3rd Hokage of Konoha, who started to show him a few things and gave him a couple of books in fuinjutsu. His friend Kushina Uzumaki was also helping him, learning that art. However, there was one thing that he didn't have much skill in, and that was shuriken jutsu. He was pretty much average when it comes to our shurikens, so he wanted to improve himself. He has been practicing for 1 hour now, but he was not getting good enough results. Try to loosen your hands and calm yourself down, a soft, female voice said. Minato spun around as he saw it was none other than Mikoto Uchiha. Jet black hair that went to her back, dark eyes like the rest of her clan. She was fair-skinned, and she had 2 large bangs falling on her face. Dark blue t-shirt with the Uchiha crest and black shorts. Minato gave a smile as he knew her from the class, but they weren't really friends. But she was different from the rest of her clan. She was kind, caring, compassionate, but she was strict and firm on becoming a formidable kunoichi. Good to see you, Mikoto, he said. But what are you doing here? She looked at Minato and smiled. Despite never talking to him much, she liked Minato a lot. He was not like the other boys that boast about their strength. He was a good person, not to mention he helped the Kunoichis and saw them as equals, and she liked that. Although she never got to spend time with him as a friend, but he was a good person. Given the fact that her life was rather strict in her clan, as she had to follow many clan tradition, and there was many rules set up for her. As many things were placed on her shoulder and many responsibilities because she was clan heir. How she wished she was spoiled like her younger brother Chisui. Oh, I was just passing by and I saw you here, and I got curious. Do you need some help? She asked with a soft smile. Well, sure, he said. I would like if you give me some pointers, as he scratched the back of his head. She chuckled. He was always a bit silly, but she liked that. Sure, just follow what I do, she said. As he nodded, and that is where their great friendship began. Flashback End. A large smile was on Minato's face as he remembered that memory. A pleasant day it truly was. Ever since that day, they got closer. As Kushina, him, and her had graduated at the top of the class, their bonds became a lot more stronger when they were made a genuine team under the legendary Sanin, Jiraiya. From there, his love for Mikoto grew stronger with each passing day. But he wasn't an idiot. He knew that the Uchihas did not let anyone marry outside the clan. Worse, the clan heiress. As a result, he could never admit it. He could never tell her. Time passed and they became Chunin. Minato advanced quickly and became Jonin. Minato and his genuine team were sent to different fronts when the Third Regional War started. Kushina and Mikoto had different stations. Minato lost many friends in the war, and one of his students, Obito Uchiha. He was also different from the Uchiha clan, and his personality was similar to Kushina, and he shared Minato's dream. Obito wanted to be Hokage. Minato was deeply saddened by his death. Despite his feelings, Minato led Konoha to victory through his skills, the most deadly being the Hiraishin, a teleportation technique based on the second Hokage Jutsu. Due to his bravery, wisdom, he was chosen as the fourth Hokage of Konoha. He had finally achieved his dream, but still, he could not tell her about his feelings. He was pulled from his thoughts when a voice spoke. Why, the great fourth Hokage of Konoha, sitting alone, the sweet, soft voice. Minato looked up and he saw the girl that he loved, Mikoto, as she had a beautiful smile. She had become quite strong and beautiful in the past decade. Her eyes were more brighter than before, and not to mention her figure. As he smiled at her. You finally got time to see me, Mikoto-sama, he joked. Is that how you greet me? It's been so long since we've seen each other, I thought you forgot about me. I'm hurt, she said, with a pout in her face. He chuckled upon seeing that she just looked so adorable, as he gestured for her to sit down. She smiled, she sat down. She saw that he looked a bit sad though. Secretly, she liked him. She was in love with him, but he had never said anything or showed that much interest for her to do anything about it, so she kept that feeling to herself. She took his hand. Are you okay? She asked. Somewhat, he said. We have lost so many friends and loved ones. I just can't believe I lost Obito as well, he said sadly. I know, he was a joy of my clan. I wish he was alive right now. I wish Rin didn't die as well, she was such a nice girl. How is Kakashi doing? Asked Mikoto. The three of them had it tough, grown up in times of war, and they had to be on the field. He's holding up fine, but Rin loss has shaken him a lot, said Minato. This war has cost us a lot. I'm always there for you, Minato. You can always talk to me, she said, as she placed a hand on his cheek. The warm sensation made him feel happy. As he looked at her face, one of the things that he learned from the war and Obito's death was that your life was short. Mikoto, I want to say something. Yes? What is it? She asked. He took a breath, a deep breath. She looked at him as she felt. Was he gonna? Yes? I love you, he said. As she just looked at him for a long moment, not saying a word. I have loved you since long. You are my friend, comrade. You have always been there for me. You took care of me. There's no other woman in the village, or the entire world, who I love more than you, he said. It's okay if you don't feel the same way. I understand, but I just wanted to know, he said, as he gave her a smile. She pouted, as he thought that she did not feel the same way, but that was not the reason. He was not giving her a chance to talk, so she grabbed onto his collar and pulled him forward, as she kissed him. So many emotions run through his mind at that moment. Happiness, passion, confusion, love, and so many more. As something overcame him as he kissed her back. As the people in the restaurant were shocked at the scene, their beloved fourth Hokage was kissing the heir of the Uchiha clan. The women were angry at Mikoto for stealing Minato, and the men were angry at Minato for stealing Mikoto. But the two of them were oblivious to all of this. They were in their own little dream world. After a few moments, she broke the kiss. "What took you so long?" she asked with a smile, literal tears in her eyes. I didn't have the courage to tell you," he said. "Were you afraid you would lose me?" she said. "How come? You're telling me your feelings now." "Yes, I was afraid," he said, "that I would lose you as a friend. And it's because of Obito." "Obito?" "Yes. Just like how I love you. Obito had feelings for Ren, but he could not tell them to her before he died. I realized I may die as a shinobi too, but I didn't want to die without telling you how I truly feel." "Do you love me too?" he asked. "Yes, I love you too, Minato," she said. The smile that appeared on his face could have brightened the entire village right there and then. He jumped over the table and hugged her in a bear hug. She was surprised for a few seconds, but she hugged him back. "Aw, they're so cute." "Damn, never saw that coming. Congratulations, Hokage-sama." The people were cheering for them. The both of them were so focused on each other, they didn't realize that they were in a restaurant. They thanked the people and decided to get out of there before the entire village found them, as he took her hand and flashed away. When she opened her eyes, they were on the monument. Even after traveling with him for so many times, she just couldn't get accustomed to his high regime, as she felt a bit woozy. "Are you alright?" he asked, as he looked at her a bit worried. "I'm fine," she said, "just feeling a bit dizzy." "Yeah, it happens sometimes," he said. "Hey, can I ask you something?" She looked at him curiously. She didn't know what was going on in his mind right now. As she nodded. "Would you like to marry me and spend the rest of your life with me?" he asked. She was shocked. She never expected a proposal so quickly. But seeing the look on his face, he wanted to tell her this for a very, very long time now. Him confessing was just the first part. She thought about the idea she would love to marry him, but she thought about her entire position. If she married Minato, she would no longer be the clan heiress. But her younger brother Shisui may be able to take her place and lead the clan. Her father loved her, and he would agree. And since Minato was a Hokage, the Uchiha clan, they would quickly agree to it, the elders. After all, it would raise their status in the village. That would be the end of the formalities, but now came her personal opinion. She knew Minato and Kushina were very, very close friends, but she wanted to confirm that they were not together, and she was not getting into the way of the both of them having anything in the future. "Before I answer, can I ask you something?" she said. He nodded. "Do you have any feelings for Kushina?" "You two are my best friends, and if you have, I don't want to get in the way of the both of you," she said. They had been friends before her, so she did not know. He understood what she was trying to say. It was indeed true. The both of them had been close friends for a long time now, but he did not have any romantic feelings for her. But Kushina really liked Minato, but she never tried to impose her feelings on him. And he cared about her deeply, but he just couldn't love her more than a best friend. "No, I care about Kushina deeply, but only as a best friend," he said. She was our teammate. We practically grew up together, went through a lot together. She might have some feelings for me, but I just love her as a friend, and nothing more, he said. "The one who I love with all of my heart is you." As hearing that, she stepped forward and gave him a kiss, wrapping her arms around him. "Yes, I will marry you," as he hugged her back tightly. His dream had finally become a reality, and it made him so happy. But there was something. "Do you think your father would agree?" asked Minato. "He loves me very much. Ever since my mother's death, he took care of me and Shisui. He is the reason why the Uchiha clan is still loved a lot. I know there has been some tension in the Second Shinobi War, but Father made our clan realize that this is our village as well, and we're a part of it. He holds you in high regards. Most of the members respect you deeply. You are fair to each and every clan within Konoha and treat them with respect. So I don't think there will be much resistance. Shisui can easily take my place and lead our clan. Our clan is not as large as before, and it has reduced in numbers, but we will still be loyal to the village. And if I marry you, it will also strengthen your ties with my clan, she said. He was quite impressed by the thorough analysis that she gave him. The cards were indeed in their favor and he liked that. Wow, that was a very impressive deduction, Mikato. Maybe you should have become Hokage. At least that would be no paperwork for me. I'd rather be a housewife and raise a family than do that boring work, thanks. But no thanks, she said jokingly. He sighed, at least I try. Are you sure about this? She asked. I've never been so sure about anything else in my life, he said, as he hugged her. Time skip. Minato Namikaze was the fourth Hokage. Ninjas fled from him, his enemies run. He was a dangerous man, yet he was sitting nervously in front of Mikato's family, which was Mikato, her younger brother Shisui, and Kagamai Uchiha, the leader. Kagamai has been staring at him for the past few moments, his stern black eyes getting the man a bit unnerved. So, you want to marry my daughter, Hokage-sama? Said Kagamai. Please, Minato is fine, Kagamai-sama. Yes, I love Mikato with all of my heart, and I want to marry her, said Minato. Kagamai's gaze was still on the man. Would you keep big sister Mikato happy, Minato-sama? Asked Shisui. I promise that, said Minato. And I'm guessing Mikato agreed with this and is content with this proposal, said Kagamai. As he gave a warm gaze towards his daughter, in truth he was happy about this. He respected Minato. He had something that most people lack in this world. Something that his sensei, Tobirama Senju, spoke about. And Hiruzen also spoke about Minato in high regards. The entire village loved him, and Kagamai was happy about the marriage, but his clan head, he had to make them understand the importance of the marriage. Yes, Dad. I love Minato too, and I want to spend the rest of my life with him. I request that you accept our wishes and give us your best wishes. You realize if you marry him, you cannot be the clan head, and you won't have much say in clan affairs. Such a marriage has not been done before. Are you willing to let go of your clan to marry Minato? Kagamai said seriously. He had high hopes for his daughter and she fulfilled every single wish. And she had made the clan proud. I know, father, she said. But I believe in a few years Shisui can lead our clan better than me, she said. I will always be devoted to our clan whether I'm Minato's wife or not. The Uchiha clan is my family, and I shall never forsake them. As Kagamai's face relaxed, a smile came on his face. Then you have my blessing, he said. I will make sure the others in the clan agree with this. However, there's a certain condition for this marriage to happen, said Kagamai. What is that condition? Asked Minato. If any of your children man shall awaken the Sharingan, they shall also adopt the Uchiha name, along with your clan's name. They will also have to fulfill certain responsibilities within this clan. The Sharingan is a part of our clan, and so are your children. Also, before your children decide to marry someone else from another clan, they will have to consult with the head then of our clan. We would not impose our ideas or ideas on them, but we would just like to know their reason for this. That is all, Kagamai said. Minato thought about it. If his son or daughter awaken the Sharingan, then he will also inherit the Uchiha's name. He didn't have any problem with that. They would be Mikato's children and she had a right to give them her clan name as well. Next was their responsibilities in the Uchiha clan. He knew Kagamai was an honest person, and so was his son Shisui. He wouldn't try to use them for power. The last condition was a bit strange, but he had to agree with it. I accept your conditions only on one condition, that my children won't be forced to do anything they don't want to do, said Minato. I wish to marry Mikato, and I have faith in you and your clan, but I will not do this at the cost of any of my future children, said Minato. Kagamai could feel the pressure in Minato's voice. This was the voice of the Hokage. He was happy. Yes, the man would stand firm on his children. Shisui was satisfied as well. In truth, he would never dream of hurting his nephew or niece, and he would make sure that they were safe. I give you my word, Minato. Please, take care of my daughter, said Kagamai. Mikato felt so happy as she looked over at Minato with a smile. He cared about the clan's future, and not to mention their future children. That made her so happy. Time skip. 4 years later, it was September 15. An ordinary night in the village hidden in a leaf. The village has recovered greatly in these past few years. The strength had become stable, and the economical state was back. People were living their life peacefully, and it was all because of Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, efforts. Tonight the village was a lot more lively than usual. Many people celebrating, because the reason was special. Konoha had achieved victory on this day, and today was a day where their precious child The precious child of Fort Tokage would be born. Almost the entire village was eager to see the child being born. On the outskirts of the village stood a lone figure. It was Kushina Uzumaki. Kushina's life had changed a lot in these past few years. A major part of her has died in these past few years. She was devastated when Minato married Mikoto, but she did not bore any ill will towards them. She knew that Minato had feelings. He had strong feelings for Mikoto in their teen time, but he never showed them towards the girl. But she saw it every now and then. She did her duty, but with each passing day, a part of her died little by little when she saw them together. After seeing the horrors of the Third Great Ninja War, she lost faith in the shinobi world. After seeing so many things, and with the one person she wanted to be with in the world, the one person she loved and cared about, being with someone else, she just didn't care anymore. She could still remember the day when she found out. Flashback. Kushina Uzumaki was standing inside the Hokage's office. She was happy to see Minato. It's been such a long time. She was away, on a mission, and she was back now. She missed Minato so much. He gave her a small smile. As she smiled back, a giant smile on her face. "How are you, Minato-kun? It's been a long time, believe it," she said, with a happy smile. He felt guilty. He was feeling sad that he was gonna break her heart. "Kushina, it's good to see you," he said. "Where's Mikoto? I haven't seen her around since I arrived," she said, confused as she looked around. "It's because she's making preparations for her marriage." "Wait, what? When did it? Who was the guy?" As everything came with a stutter as Kushina was talking too fast. That was a problem of hers. Whenever she got riled up, she spoke too quickly. It made him chuckle a bit. They were used to this behavior. "She was gonna tell you, but since you're here, I'm gonna tell you. But please, calm down." As she calmed herself. As he walked towards her, and he hugged her. She was surprised, but she hugged him back. She felt a lot happy when she was this close to Minato. It was her dream to be with him, to spend her life with him. "We're getting married," he said. "Me and Mikoto-chan are getting married," he told her, in a sad tone. She didn't say anything. That was the startling part. Kushina was one to always talk up loudly. She was too shocked to talk. It felt like someone had stabbed her right in the back. The man that she loved, the man she wanted to be with, was gonna marry her best friend. "This can't be happening," she said. Tears already leaking from her eyes. Her voice choked up. He hugged her more tightly. "I'm sorry, Kushina. I love you. But only as a best friend," he said. "We have been through a lot together. But please understand. I love Mikoto-chan," he said. "Find someone who you can spend with the rest of your life. It is possible to live as a Jinjulki." Those words came from Mito, who told her, the previous Jinjulki host. No, she said. I love you, Minato. I love you from the day we became friends. When we used to hang out together, fight together. I can't live without you," she said. As she pulled away, tears in her eyes as his heart felt shattered, seeing the pain that she was in. "You deserve someone better than me. I'm not worried for you." "No." "Kushina, this can't be happening," she yelled as she grabbed him by the shoulders. "Minato, please, don't do this. I can't live without you," she said. "You're everything to me." "Kushina, please understand. I love Mikoto. I cannot pretend to have those feelings for you. It would be betraying all of us." Kushina ran away with a broken heart. In the flashback, a lone tear slipped from Kushina's eye as she stood where she was. Since that day, she could not maintain a friendship with them. Both of them tried many times to help her, but she just couldn't maintain it. She didn't have much friends, so she started to get isolated. As a result, she joined the Black Ops to escape from her pain. But no matter after the dangerous mission and risking her life, it changes nothing. Today was the day that the child was going to be born. Today was the day that she was supposed to have her son with Minato, if they had gotten together. If things had worked out in her favor. The man that she loved was with someone else, and there was nothing that she could change about it. A swirling vortex appeared behind her as a man emerged, wearing black robes with red clothes on them. His face was covered by a mask, as there was a single eye hole on it, and there was a Sharingan inside. "Hello, Kushina," he said, in a rather serious tone. Kushina gave a nod. She could not continue like this. She just could not. She even tried to end her life, but she was unsuccessful. She just couldn't live like this anymore. Have you made up your mind? He asked. Yes, she said. This world is full of lie and deception, Kushina. There is no peace in this world. People, like us, who survive are trash. This is pointless, this reality. That is why I need your help to create a world that can bring us peace and happiness. Will your plan work? Can you really succeed to creating such a world? She asked. Yes. In our world, you will be with Minato, with your own family, with your friends and happiness, where no chaos, no violent outbursts, nothing will ever change it. But I need to ask you something. What do you want to ask Madara? She asked, in a hardened tone. He chuckled a bit. She had a rather short temper. Do you feel anything for the people of this world? Kushina's entire life flashed before her eyes right there and then. Her clan being destroyed, the death of her parents, her being brought to Konoha to be the Jinchuriki, Mito's false word. Everything, it all flashed through her eyes. And Minato marrying Mikoto. As she turned towards Madara. Things are going better than I planned, he says. He saw look in her eyes. This world, I don't care about it anymore, she said. So then, let us begin, he said. Time skip. In a secluded room in the hospital lay a woman. Jet black hair and dark eyes. It was none other than Mikoto, who looked really exhausted, but she was happy. Tears of joy were in her eyes. As she heard the cry that filled her soul with happiness. Congratulations, Mikoto-sama. It's a boy, the medic said, handing her the baby. Her beautiful baby boy. He had blonde hair like Minato, but it wasn't spiky, it was silk back. 2 blonde locks coming down his face. Fair skin like Mikoto, and he had the same facial structure as her. Tears came from her eyes as she felt complete. This was her child, her own flesh and blood. He was the most beautiful baby in the world. As she looked at him with a smile, he opened his eyes as her breath caught when she saw those innocent, sweet black eyes. As he smiled, and tears flew freely. I love you, my son, she said. As Minato kissed her softly, as she let him hold his son. As a baby, stir a bit before looking at Minato. Strangely, he looked concerned or confused. As the baby was observing him, Minato laughed, as the baby started to laugh as well. So, what should we name him? Asked Minato, looking at his son happily. I was thinking that we should name him Itachi, but I want you to name him. As a father, I think you should name him, she said. Thank you. I was thinking about the name in Jiraiya's book. She glared at him. Minato Namikaze, she said. If you are planning on naming your son after Jiraiya, perverted book, then I will. He shook his head violently. Say no, million times. I mean the gutsy ninja, he said. As the baby seemed to laugh at the antics. Mikoto also calmed down. She saw her son was happy. You want to name him Naruto? Said Mikoto. Yeah, he will grow up to be a great man just like the hero of the book. I guess it isn't such a bad name after all. The both of them turned as they saw Kagami and Shisui. As Shisui came forward and took the baby in his arms, Kagami's eyes was a bit moist as he looked towards his daughter. As he looked towards his grandchild. So this is my nephew, says Shisui. He sure look a lot like you, sis. Why not? He's my son after all. Mikoto, I'm really happy for you, child. You have given me every happiness in this world. And finally, my grandson. I'm so proud of you, said Kagami, with a warm smile. Thank you, father, said Mikoto, returning back the warm smile. I just can't wait to teach him all my techniques, sis. If you awaken the strength, then I will teach him everything, says Shisui. Hey, I'm here too, you know, said Minato. I also want to teach my son many things. Hold your horses, said Mikoto, as the both of them turned towards her. You may teach him when he grows up, but for now he's my baby, and I want to spend time with him. And you're forgetting something, I'm his mother. So if anyone has the right to teach him something, it's me. Kagami smiled. No, that's my daughter, he said, as Shisui and Minato looked at each other. They had the same expression on as they looked towards Mikoto, who was glaring at them both. Well, she is his mother. Time skip. Unknown location. In a dark room stood 9 people. One thing they had in common was all of them were wearing black cloaks with red clothes on them, as they stood there looking ominously. The figure standing in the middle had purple eyes, He looked at them with no emotion on his face. It is almost like he was a corpse. Today, we welcome a new member to the Akatsuki, he said in a stoic voice. At that moment, Kushina stepped forward. As the other members looked towards her, some of the members were shocked when they saw her. Her long red hair was tied in a ponytail. She had the Konoha headband on, but there was a slash in it. Her entire body was covered in Akatsuki robes, and she had a sword in her back. The Red Death of Konoha. You sure have a lot of bounty on your head, a man said with green eyes as he looked towards her. Shut it, Kakazu. She's a pretty one. Maybe I should sacrifice her to Jakin-sama, a man with silver hair said with a sight on his shoulder. Hidan, you and your idiotic god are not important. Money is the most important thing in this world. What? Said Kakazu. I find it interesting that someone like you joined the Akatsuki. A man hunched over said, What are your intentions? It's rude to ask a lady a question without introducing herself, Kushina said. She didn't give a rat's ass about these people. She just wanted to complete the job that Madara wanted. Sorcerer of the Red Sands, former shinobi of the Hidden Sand, said Sorcery. You sure bring interest in members, Toby. A black plant man said, but he said that last part silently. Indeed. It's White half agree with him. You're the Jinjulki, aren't you? Said Kisame. Samihata can sense your chakra, he said. Kisame, former swordsman of the mist. And that bizarre excuse of a sword is shark skin, I suppose. It's quite pathetic. Kisame eyes hardened as he lifted his blade. Enough! All of them turned as leader spoke. Her reasons are not important, she has special talent that are required for our purpose, just like all of you. But leader-sama, aren't we supposed to catch people like her? Said Hidan. Yes, we do need a Kyuubi, but she's a Uzumaki and as such, she won't die if the Kyuubi is extracted from her. She has chakra chains that can help subdue other Bijus as well. Our aim is still the same. The 5 great nations are corrupt, and it is time for them to feel pain. But before we can put our plans in motion, we need certain resources and preparations for that. Kakazu, Hidan, you two will be working together from now on. Kakazu, you will handle our finances. Understood, said Kakazu, happy to deal with the money. Just don't get in my way, Hidan said. Kisame, you will team up with Kushina. Both of you have certain skills that I need. You will do the mission I gave you, he said. Kushina gave a stern look towards Kisame, but Kisame simply smirked, showing off his teats. Sorcery, your job is to find us new, potential recruits. Only take the best. Yes, Leader-sama, said Sorcery. Zetsu, you will keep watching the 5 great nations and keep us informed about their activities. It will be fun, Black Zetsu said. We will get the job done, White Zetsu said. A new era has come, and we shall lead this world to the right path, the leader said firmly. All the members stared at him. Kushina was impassive. She was only here for her own ambitions, and she was going to do whatever it takes to get them. On top of the cave stood Madara. I wonder how things are going to change. Time skip, Minato was in his office. Last night was one of the best nights of his life. His son has been born. Many people congratulate him on being a father. He was a Hokage, so he had to resume his duties, but that couldn't mean that his mind couldn't be with his family. His thoughts drifted towards Kushina. He felt sad when he thought about his best friend. In these years, she started to distance herself from him and Mikoto. She was there at the wedding, but she only congratulated them with sad eyes. Something that he hated to see because the girl was his best friend, and he didn't want her to be in constant pain. He hated that. They had tried many times to make her happy and get her life back on track, but she never wanted any kind of relationship with them. When he first received a request to join Envoy, he denied because he was worried about her safety as usual, but she insisted quite harshly, and he had to accept because the Envoy commander also accepted her proposal. They needed skilled people like her. They lost many skilled people in the war. Envoy appeared in front of him. Hokage-sama, it's an emergency. He quickly snapped into focus. What's the problem? Kushina Uzumaki has been missing since last night. What? Said Minato loudly. She was assigned patrol duty by the Envoy commander last night, but she has not returned back to HQ, sir. We already started a search. We checked her post in the entire village, but there's no trace of her. This is bad, Minato thought worriedly. Kushina had the Kyuubi seal inside of her. If she was missing, that meant something bad happened. Did someone attack her to try and get the Kyuubi? He had assigned some envoys to watch over her because she was Jinjuki. What about the envoy squad I assigned to watch over her? They are also missing, sir. Get the best trackers from the Inuzaka, Aburme, and Hyuga clans. I want the entire force of Anbu Blackout to search for her. In the entire Fire Country. The entire Fire Country, the Anbu said, shocked. Yes. We need to find her quickly. Send me, the Anbu commander. This information is top secret and you're not to reveal enough contents to anyone. The penalty to breaking it is death. Understood? Now move, said Minato. Yes sir, as the man flashed away. Minato looked towards the window. Dark clouds were surrounding the village. The people were living happily, unaware of the storm that was coming. He was very worried, for Kushina's sake, and what could happen if things turned bad. Kushina, just where are you, he thought to himself. Time skip. In a small room, a blonde-haired boy was sleeping peacefully. He had a smile on his face as he slept happily. He was none other than Naruto Namikaze Uchiha, the son of the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, and Mikoto Uchiha. Life had been quite beautiful for this little boy. Even in his half-asleep state, he could feel someone coming. He didn't know why, but he could always do it. As he felt the person climb on his bed. As he felt the person's happiness overjoyed. Here it comes. Big brother! As he opened his instant black eyes as he looked at his younger brother. Itachi was 3 years old, black spiky hair and blue eyes. His face was very similar to their father, but he looked like a chibi version of him. How many times have I told you not to shout, said Naruto kindly. Itachi was his younger brother, and he was the joy of Naruto's life. Itachi pouted as he crossed his arms over his chest. You angry? He said. He was finding it difficult to speak, more than a few words. Naruto chuckled and poked him on the forehead. Sorry about that, said Naruto. Itachi said, as Naruto stared at him, as they burst out laughing, the two of them, as Naruto embraced his brother in a hug. Big brother, mom, Itachi said. As Naruto understood what he was trying to say, his mother must have sent him to wake him up. While she prepared breakfast, their father would usually be reading the newspaper of the village. Alright, let me get ready, said Naruto as he slowly got up from bed. Itachi followed him. Naruto was a bit intrigued. Usually Itachi would run back to their mother, but now he was following him. As Naruto paused, alright, what do you need? And do not lie, he said. Itachi gave him a small smile. I want Foxy-chan, he said, as he pointed his finger at Naruto's shelf. There were a lot of toys there. A smile came on his face when he saw that fox. Flashback. A 3-year-old Naruto was in the toy shop of Konoha. Mikoto was holding him in her arms. It was his birthday and he wanted something. Mikoto was happy. Whenever he was looking at toys, he had this big, sweet happy smile that she loved. It had been a few months since she gave birth to her younger son Itachi. As a result, she wasn't able to spend much time with Naruto as before. It did pain her, but she knew Itachi needed her more right now. But Naruto was quite thoughtful and smart. He accepted Itachi happily. Mikoto knew that many children would be jealous of their younger sibling at this age, but Naruto was different. He always tried to help her. He would always be beside Itachi. He would always be the first to run to Itachi if he heard him crying. In a way, he loved Itachi more than her, and that made her really proud for her elder son. Mom, as he looked up at her. You can have anything you want, Naruto-chan, she said. After all, today is your birthday, as she kissed him on the cheek. Naruto looked around, as he was feeling a lot more happy, spent time with his mother as he saw a small fox with black eyes. As he pointed towards the fox. You want that? Said Mikoto. He said. Okay then, but you have to do something for your mom as well. But no buts, Naruto-kun, she said, as he pouted a bit, before nodded. Alright, give your mother a kiss and the toy is yours, she said, as Naruto smiled and kissed her on her cheek. As he gave her a smile. Okay, she said, now you can have it, as she paid for the toy. As Naruto took the small toy and hugged it. Thanks, Mom, he said. I love you, Naruto-chan, she said as she hugged him. In the flashback, Naruto smiled as he remembered that memory. His mother was truly something else. She loved him and Itachi. He couldn't understand how she loved him so much. Big brother, I want Foxy-chan, Itachi said. Why not, said Naruto. Whatever I have is yours as well. No matter what happens, I'll always love you. As Itachi hugged him. As Naruto hugged him back. Now then, let's get ready. Okay, Itachi said with his new toy. Time skip. Minato was on his chair. It was a casual morning. In these past 5 years, a lot of change. He had faced a lot of difficulties as ruling the village as a Hokage. Since Kushina's disappearance though, Donzo and the elders have started to doubt him. They even went as far as to question his abilities in front of the entire council. Minato still remembered that day. Flashback. Several people were in the room as the atmosphere was tense. As Donzo Homura and Koharu sat on one side. On the other side, the people sat the clan heads: Hayashi, Kagami Uchiha, Tatsume Inuzaka, Shibuya Aberami, Chozaki Michi, and Inoichi Yamanaka and Shikaku Nara. In the center was Minato with the third Hokage Hiruzen by his side. The Yonvu commander had his mask on, flanking Minato's left. "Is it true, Hokage-sama?" asked Shikaku. "Hokage, have we truly lost our Jinchuriki?" Danzo said, in a distasteful tone. His voice was almost filled with venom. "This youngster has jeopardized the village. I should have eliminated him a long time ago," Danzo thought to himself. "Yes, it is true. And Danzo, you will address me as Hokage-sama or Hokage-dano." "Am I understood?" he said, as he leaked so much ki that everyone felt it weighing on their shoulders. "My apologies, Hokage-sama," said Danzo. "It won't be enough. Since we're in a crisis right now, I'm enforcing military rule and overriding the council," said Minato. Everyone was shocked to hear this. Minato was the most strict Hokage after Tobirama Senju. After becoming Hokage, he removed all of the civilian council from Shinobi's affairs. He then stripped Danzo off his root command and integrated those Shinobis into the regular Anbu forces. Danzo had been furious. He even tried to gather supporters, but Minato had publicly cut off his right arm for him defying orders. But Danzo was the important man, and since he apologized for his crimes, he was given a seat on the council's advisor. But Danzo had no power right now. It made him furious to no end. But he would just wait until his time was right. Minato did not share the same ideal as Hiruzen, that peaceful move of his. He also wanted peace, but not at the cost of Konoha, not at all. So he changed the entire shinobi system of Konoha. He formed very different divisions, like the barrier teams, that were tasked with protecting the village border and the fire country. The Anbu forces were almost double, seeing that they integrate the root Anbu forces inside as well. And Konoha suffered great casualties in the Third Great Shinobi War. As a result, he started the medical corps under the supervision of his wife, Mikoto. She was tasked with training young kunoichi and shinobis in medical ninjutsu, and the academy had changed. All the kids were trained from the age of 6, and they would be recognized and given special advancement towards the field that they most took towards. Every training team was properly balanced, with a ninjutsu specialist, a medic, and a genjutsu and taijutsu specialist. They were graduated at the age of 8 and sent to boot camp for preparation for war. So right now, Konoha had the largest and most lethal military force in the entire shinobi world, and all of this was possible because of Minato. But such an achievement come at a cost. He barely spent time with his elder son Naruto. He wanted to be there for his son, but his duties always got in the way. Things didn't go as well because when Itachi was going to be born, Minato would have stabilized things by then. So right now, Naruto was born in the worst time because he was busy most of the time. Due to Kushina's loss, he made sure that none of the village knew that Konoha did not have his Jinchuriki, so he sent Jiraiya on a lot of work. He had tried to hide it for 4 years, but now he could not anymore. "How long has she been missing?" asked Hayashi seriously. "Hayashi." Minato looked towards him. The man started to act a bit more suspicious since he married Mikoto. They had even offered one of their finest brides for Minato to marry, but he had refused. The Hyuga clan saw it as an insult, seeing that the Uchiha clan had more power in the council. And Minato knew something was wrong. The Hyuga was a very poor clan. One would say that they have a stick jammed up their ass. The Hyugas were always bitter towards the Uchihas, and when Naruto married Mikoto, they thought that the Uchiha's power would double in the council, or double somewhere else, but that was not true. He married her because he loved her, but since the marriage, he cancelled the isolation. Since Tobirama Senju rule ended, he cancelled that isolation that the Uchiha clan had on them. They could join any department they want to join in Konoha. By doing this, he earned the trust of the Uchiha clan. They now fully supported him. He had stopped them from doing something reckless, but the Hyugas hated that. The Uchihas handled the police force, but they now also work for the village. Due to this, Konoha's strength increased even more, as their most powerful clan was back in their internal affairs. But all of them were important. But he just didn't want to marry someone that he did not love. That is why he never accepted the offer from Hayashi. Hayashi had agreed, but the man was acting suspicious. That is why he sent a few Anbus to watch Hyuga clan. She has been missing for some time. The details are classified, with only the Anbu commander and me. I have made some efforts to find her, but so far, there has been no success. What were her last whereabouts? Inoichi asked curiously. She was assigned patrol duty in the northern section of the village. She was supposed to return to patrol, but she never showed up. And the envoy squad guarding her, asked Tasumi. They are all MIA. There's no trace of them. It is like they have been wiped out from the face of the earth. It must have been Kumo they tried to abduct her in the past, said Choza angrily. We have not confirmed yet Jiraiya has been searching for her all over the nation, and he has not found any other village involvement in this. What should we do now, Hokage-sama? Without our Jinjoki, we are vulnerable. Despite Kushina's boisterous behavior, she was one of the strongest Kunoichis, only rivaled by Mikato-sama and Tsunade-sama, said Shibi in a logical tone. They wouldn't want her as an enemy, of course. She had the Kyuubi in check. She held it back, and her skills in fighting was already a Kage level, and she had the most fiercest Bijou. So, having her as an enemy was not something good. What if she released the 9 tails? The world was in chaos, the stone, and Kumo was recovering. As Kumo wanted the Byakugan, the third Raikage wanted at all costs the Sand was still recovering from their loss as well. Kiri at the moment was in a civil war. It turns out that the Mizukage went mad and started to kill off all the bloodline users, and they started to rebel against him. And now he was receiving support from Kumo, in terms that he would give him a bunch of bloodline users for his research. All in all, the world was in chaos right now. And it was heading towards the 4th Great Ninja War, even though no one could see it right now. Minato knew in a year or two war would be at Konoha's doorstep. Plus, there was news of a new organization called the Akatsuki. Right now they were being hired by the Hidden Stone. Minato knew that he had to be strong. His people need him, even though Kushina was his best friend. He had to do what was right. Kushina Uzumaki is now labeled as a S-rank missing nin. If any of you encounter her, she must be brought back to the village, alive. We cannot lose the 9 tails. Yes, all of them said. This information will not be put in the bingo book. Only you people are entitled with such information. If I find out any of you had broken this rule, the decks crack as Minato looked at them with a stern gaze. I will kill you and your entire clan, he said. The man was dead serious. And the meeting was done. No one could overtalk him. No one could overrule him. He was Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage, strict Hokage, and he always made good on his promise. But guys, we end episode right here. If you want to see the next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification so you posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Told About the Uzumaki clan in the beginning over on Anime King, and enjoy that guys. And also remember, if you're new, I indeed have 3 channels: Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. And I also post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Exiled from the Otsutsuki clan over on Anime King 3. So go ahead and check out that and enjoy guys. And yeah, turn on those bell notifications, stay posted, and see exactly when I post. But for now, I'm out for you guys. See you guys soon. Peace out.